So I never did my research on what it takes to get induced when you're pregnant. I just used to hear people all the time say, they had to get induced, or that term where they had to take the baby. That's the same as induced. So when I went for my scheduled appointment, first of all, I was waiting in the lobby for an hour. I don't know why, especially when I'm scheduled to be here. So then when I get inside, they do ask me a bunch of preliminary questions, which again is kind of weird because this is a hospital that all my stuff is sent to, or who I deal with. So y'all got all my previous histories and stuff like that. So I don't know why we had to go through all that again, but that took like 45 minutes to an hour. So then, they got me hooked up to the monitors and stuff, and then I took a little small pill. I forget the name of it, but it's supposed to start your contractions. Now, mind you, I already was having contractions, so to me, the little pill didn't work, and I was already dilated to maybe 1.5, and that's what the little pill was supposed to do. But as far as inducing, like everything takes so long, like it's crazy. Like the little pill, I'm like, how long does it take for this to work? They like 3 to 4 hours, and then they'll check me, and then if they need to go up on the dosage, they'll do it again, and then that take again another 3 to 4 hours for it to work. So I'm like, dang. So they checked me. I had to get an ultrasound because my baby, his foot and his hand was like pretty much over his head like this. So they kept talking about C-sections if you don't move. And every time they give me something for my inducing, they check to see if he moved out the way. So after the little pill work, they gave me the ultrasound. He moved a little bit. So they went forward to give me it's called the balloon catheter. So it's pretty much a catheter with balloons on it, and then they fill up the balloons with water to make you dilate. Now that only makes you dilate to like 3 to 5 centimeters, and then it's supposed to fall out. So they put that in. That shit was uncomfortable, but it didn't necessarily hurt. So I asked the nurse, like, well, so how long it take, for you to dilate with this catheter in? Homegirl gonna say some 12 hours. I said, ain't nobody got time to be sitting up in this hospital for no 12 hours. So I'm saying this to say, don't think you about to get induced and shit about to just pop off right away, because shit take a long time, and I didn't realize that. But fortunately for me, I didn't have the catheter in for 12 hours. Again, like I said, I was already dilated to like 1.5. So when she checked me, I necessarily didn't have to have it in so long. But I do know it kicked up the contractions a lot, to the point where I was standing up and trying to walk around. I was trying to do crossword puzzles, listen to my music. Like, I couldn't focus on none of that. Like, I was in so much intense, like, pain and just uncomfortable with that catheter in. I couldn't really focus on nothing else but to just shut down your mind and to concentrate on the contractions, because the catheter was making them come. So when she checked me, and she tugged on it a little bit, it came out. So I only had to have my balloon catheter in for about 2.5, maybe 3 hours, which is good compared to sitting there 12 hours going through that. That shit was crazy. So the midwife had checked again. She was like, everything looked good. So she don't think I was going to progress to have a C-section, and the baby pretty much moved to the point where when he started to come, he could move on out the way of his own limbs or whatever. So they started me on the Pitocin drip. I might be saying that wrong, but the drip, like, that shit wasn't no joke. Like, it seemed like as soon as they put that in the IV, I started having like those contractions where like something about to happen, like right away. It was to the point where, like, to give you an example, like every 5 minutes, I was having a contraction every minute. So like 1 minute was contraction, the second minute was a contraction, like it was coming back to back, and I'm like, oh my God. So that lasted a few hours, and then my doula ended up coming, but during the course of that, they kept saying the baby heart was dropping every time I had a major contraction. So they started giving me fluids even though I was self-hydrating. So that's what you need to pay attention to when you having your baby, or have to have a procedure like being induced, or you go to the hospital too early and you're not laboring at home, if they give you fluids. So she like the baby heart rate was dropping, and they needed to give me fluids to make his heart, stop dropping. So they gave me fluids, and then they kept doing like what is called a bolus or something like that. It's pretty much when you had an IV bag, and they give you half of the IV bag like right away. So instead of the liquid dripping in you slowly, they flush your body with the liquid. Now that happened over the course of the night, maybe like 3 to 4 times. And I didn't necessarily want that, but for the health of the baby, I had to get it. Well, I ain't gonna say I had to get it, but it was recommended to me that I get it. So I kept turning. They kept making me turn from left to right, because I was standing up, walking, and sitting down. Then at one point, my bed was upright, like a chair position, and I was utilizing, you know how they had the birthing balls? They got a ball that's shaped like a peanut, so you can sit it between your legs. So I was using that, and then I want to say, when my doula came, she was asking me like how long I've been sitting in the bed, like pretty much getting me up to walk, like we about to do this. So it seemed like as soon as she got there, everything started kicking up real fast, which was a good thing because I needed her when the stuff started hitting the fan. So we would sit on the birthing ball, like almost right away. It felt like I had to throw up. I started having my bloody show more often, even though I had one already. Like the membranes down there started breaking a lot with that Pitocin drip. Like those contractions were so intense to the point where when I was like, I gotta throw up and I feel like I gotta poop, those contractions, I couldn't talk. So that's how you know when you about to have your baby, when you can't talk to people and you really gotta just zone people out. That's when you know like your baby should be close. So every step of the way, my dude like, okay, that's a good sign. So I went to the bathroom. Nothing necessarily came out. It's just like I felt like I had to poop, but nothing came out. So then the nurses came back in and was like, I gotta get back in the bed because the baby heart rate just keep dropping. And so I got back in the bed, and then it was like doing shift change. Like everybody there was pretty nice and real calm and explaining what was the steps that was happening and stuff like that. And doing shift change around like 7, another group of ladies came in because of shift change. But one lady, I don't know if she was a midwife or if she was a doctor, because at this particular hospital they work hand in hand with both. But she was just talking. And I'm clearly having a contraction. I'm like, I can't even respond to you right now. So in the nicest way, I put on my finger, pretty much just shut up talking to me. Like, at least till this contraction get over with, because I ain't listening really. But she was trying to force the epidural on me. Like, my baby heart rate keep dropping, giving her looking at the notes. And I need to have this epidural because if I start to push and the baby heart rate drop, they're going to, take me to go get a C-section. And since I don't get the epidural, they're going to have to put me to sleep. So I'm not going to need to be awake when my baby come out. There's all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, just give me a minute so I can process it. So my doula, like, she ain't trying to hear that. Like, pretty much just, like, slow your roll. So they kind of had a little spat. I ain't gonna say spat, but they went back and forth because the lady was like, well, I have to tell her this because this is our procedure. And she was like, okay, well, that's fine. But there's other stuff y'all can do before y'all just try to, whisk her ready to go get a C-section. And then So with stuff recommended, like you could tell them to stop the drip to see how your body reacts to if you're gonna keep having intense contractions or if it's just the medicine that's making you do it. At that point, my water didn't break yet, so they're like, okay, let's try to break the water. So my dude was like, yeah, like I didn't even know the water didn't break yet. So like, let's try to do all that stuff first before y'all try to, or before you try to send her off to do a C-section. So, I want to tell you, after she broke the water, and then because the baby heart rate kept dropping, they ended up putting a heart rate monitor on him. So they stuck it up in me and put it on him, and then took off those belly monitors so they can get more accurate response and reading on his heart rate. So they stuck a monitor up in me. It was real small, and they stuck it to him. And I want to say, well, I looked at the paperwork. 19 minutes after they broke my water, I was pushing. I was in full-blown labor. So it's like no need for the epidural, because I'm a part of a natural birth plan where I want to have less medicine as possible and just try to have as natural as possible. But yeah, so 19 minutes after my water broke, it was time to push. So I pushed him out. No complications, no tearing. And he was 7 pounds, 7 ounces healthy. So that was my inducing experience. It just wasn't as quick as I thought it was going to be. And the stages that they send you through is longer than I anticipated. Because I was thinking, shit, my appointment was at 11. So I was thinking at least by that night, like I was going to have him. But no, I didn't have him till the next day at 7:48 in the morning, which was not what I intended. But either way, everything was healthy. We got transferred to the other side of the hospital. No complications. He latched on right away. He latched on actually for like 30 minutes. Like baby boy was in there hungry. I guess. So that was a good thing. And again, everything is a suggestion. You don't have to necessarily do everything they ask you to do. But by them flushing me with them liquids, that set me up for the hypertension. And I'll get into that in another video. But as far as my inducing experience goes, that was it. It was just a little long, a little painful, but we had them healthy and no complications. So talk to y'all later. Bye.